So how about a Julia Child chicken soup recipe with a twist? It's a French twist.
Oh! Bon appétit.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my home. It's lovely to have you all here today. And you know, the seasons have started to change where I'm at, and I instantly started thinking about soup season. I was thinking, you know, maybe Julia Child has a good hearty chicken soup recipe. And she kind of does, and it's in the Way to Cook cookbook right here. Now I was reading it over and I was minutes away from making it, and then I was like, you know what, maybe I should put the pause on this because it sounds a bit too basic for this show. You know, I'm sure it's delicious, but you know, we're trying to make a video here. So I wanted to jazzercise it up a little bit, you know. So Mastering the Art of French Cooking V2 has something that might be what we're after. It is a bouillabaisse de poulet. Chicken poached in white wine with Provençal vegetables, herbs, and flavorings. Bouillabaisse is actually one of Julia's famous recipes. It's just a famous recipe in general. Basically it's like a fish stew. And I made it a few years back, and you know, it was quite the coming of age story. I started it never cooking with fish heads before. This is so far beyond anything I've ever done before. I mean, there's fish heads on my counter. I ended the day, well, here I am now. Doing this with like chicken instead of fish, well, I'm all ears. Famous and successful recipes have a way of turning up in other guises. Chicken has a habit of wearing other costumes, and there should be nothing surprising about chicken swimming in the robust flavors of a bouillabaisse. Yeah, we're gonna make the bouillabaisse de poulet, and I'm gonna serve it on some steamed rice with French bread and a strong white wine. Let's get to work. So let's start off with our chicken. And I'm gonna break this down, and Julia's got a whole way of doing so. She says, okay, so Julia says if you have time for surgery, you can make the chicken easier to cook, especially for sautés, fricassees, but also for poaching because the pieces will lie flatter and take up less room. Well, I got time for surgery. First, I'm gonna quarter it and then I'll go from there. Let's separate the drumstick from the thigh. Oi! That's it, just find the joint and go right through. You know, just give it a break. Oh, surgery required. Done. To make the second joint even more attractive, scrape the meat away from the second ball joint and whack off the bulbous end with your chopping knife. Where's my chopping knife? It's gonna make it more attractive to eat, she says. Be careful when removing the hip bone from the thigh because there's the oyster meat. That's good stuff. You want to keep that. Where's the oyster meat? I think that's it right there. Save that sucker, but let's remove this bone. She says it's going to be finicky to do so now, but well worth it in the end. To set the breast in front of you, skin side up and the top of the breast away from you. By wiggling the wing, locate with your finger where the ball joint is. Separate the wing at the shoulder by cutting through the ball joint. Done. Yes. Remove the rib bones from the breast meat. She says there's a diagram on another page that you can follow along to, but it's a goose, but they have the same bone structure, so it's cool. So let's look at the goose here. Does that make things any easier? Not really. So confused. I hope everyone's okay out there, but I'm confused. Ball joint of the wing and the meat. Just kind of wiggle that. Yes, get your knife through there. Quarter the breast meat, she says. It's like I've broken down so many chickens in my day, but never really like this French way that she's describing. Anyway, my ADD got the better of me and I just lost concentration. But like, listen to this. We shall suppose you have a left breast with the wing on the right.
By wiggling the wing, locate with your finger where the ball joint of its upper arm attaches to the shoulder. Then make a semicircular cut through the skin and breast meat, starting at the lower left side of the long end facing you and ending at the shoulder joint. Scrape meat from rib bones at the length of the cut. Separate wing at shoulder by cutting through ball joint, and free the wing with its strip of breast meat. With shears, cut the bony nubbing off the elbow of the wing. Trim off rib bones from main part of the breast along with the backbone if it's attached. For a right-sided breast, use the same system, but you may find it's easier to set the breast in front of you lengthwise, the wing end facing you and the thick part of the meat where you left it. Wingless breast will be improved when you scrape the lower third of the flesh from the ribs at the long, thin side, and cut off the ribs at this point. The breast will then lie flatter.
You got to be in the mood for that, so I just kind of winged it. No pun intended. Okay, so time for a little rapid fire mise en place. There's a couple things that I want to get done now, immediately, because I wasted too much time with that chicken. First of all, I need the sliced white of the leek. So cut off the root and the tough green part of the leek. And then what I'm gonna do, slice it in half and wash the hell out of it, because there's always grit and sand in this, and everyone's always telling me, why aren't you washing your leeks? I do wash my leeks. Half moon shapes, sliced onion. Drop some tomatoes into some simmering water. All right, just keeping my eye on them. I'm gonna remove them when the skin starts to split. It's split. That makes for easy peeling. Cut that stem out of there. All right, cut them crosswise, and then I gotta remove the seeds and the juice. Now she says you can use a combination of fresh and canned tomatoes. I'm going all fresh today, baby. Like so. 1.5 cups of tomato pulp. She doesn't say to slice it. I feel like you'd want to slice it. I'm gonna slice it. Don't tell anyone. So, my Dutch oven. In here, I'm gonna add in around 1/4 cup of olive oil. Come on. Sorry. That would be 1/4 cup. Medium heat. So in goes around 1/2 cup of each. Sliced leek, sliced onion, and a little for good luck. We're gonna cook this in the oil for around 10 minutes, stirring it frequently until it's tender but not browned. In go the tomatoes. It's 1.5 cups worth. And a couple cloves of minced garlic. All right, so we're gonna cover that for another 5 minutes until those tomatoes render their juices. Uncover, ooh. Turn up the heat, and I need those tomato juices to evaporate. Now make way for the chicken, right? So let's just get the vegetables out of the way for a minute. And I'm gonna arrange the chicken on the base of the pan. Cover and cook the chicken for 10 minutes and turning it once. So 5 and 5. Okay, So classic Jamie situation over here. I completely forgot to prep the 2-inch piece of dried orange peel. As one does, right? 2 inches of dried orange peel. So, please welcome back to the show, The Beast, everyone. I feel like this could really help me out of a jam. I need my dried orange peel, and I don't want to turn on my actual oven, so I figured this was right over off camera anyway, because I always have it up here when I'm not filming. I'm gonna use this. This is probably a lot of work for a whole lot of nothing. That will heat up in no time. Orange peel goes into the 200-degree F oven until it has slightly curled and hardened. That's what you like to see. Check that out. Well, there's a bit of a pause in time right now. Let's just prep the last of our ingredients, everything that we need to finish this thing. This is 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds, and let's just kind of work your magic. All right, this has been waiting patiently. Let's get the heat back on and pick up where we left it. In with the chicken, a couple cups of chicken stock. I picked up a nicer Sauvignon Blanc tonight for a few reasons. First one is it's gonna go in here. Second one is I'm gonna drink it. 1.5 cups. And that should just barely cover the chicken. Cool. So time for some herbaceous flavors. 1/2 teaspoon of thyme. I hope everyone's okay. 1/4 cup of crushed fennel seeds. 1/4 teaspoon, holy hell. Big pinch of pepper. Couple saffron threads. Not too many. It's expensive. Dried orange peel, in you go. Couple drops of Tabasco sauce or cayenne pepper, just a pinch. So we got 1 bay leaf going in. No, I'm joking. 2 bay leaves. I ain't driving tonight. Give it a good mix, but we also gotta find out if it needs any salt. Whew, I think it could. All right, let's get the lid on. Let that simmer for 20 to 25 minutes. It's up to you. Do you wanna leave it on the stove? You wanna put it in the oven? I think it's doing fine here, so I'm just gonna leave it. So let me just skim off some of the fat on top. There's not much, honestly. Remove those 2 bay leaves, and now I gotta go hunting for that orange peel. There it is, found it. It is almost time. So pour yourself a cold glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Cheers, and enjoy each moment. All right, let's get this damn soup over here. Julia did recommend serving this dish with some rice. So unbeknownst to you, I prepped some rice. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna get some rice into the bottom of my bowl. Oy! Let's arrange the chicken and the vegetables on the rice. Let's do that first. Let's get some cooking liquid on top. Oh, we got ourselves a soup going here. And then we get the parsley leaves on the very top. That's it. Order up! That chicken is tender. You know what's incredible about this recipe? There's no butter in it. None. I'm so glad I decided to make this rather than the other chicken soup, because now that I'm having this, I'm like, holy hell. It's like all the ingredients that I added into it, you can pick it all up, including the freaking orange peel. Yeah, there's a little hint of orange peel in there. But I think one of the highlights for me is the saffron. It gives me a little nostalgia for the last time I made the bouillabaisse, because I'm like, oh right, that's what it was, except with fish. But holy, the chicken, tender, delicious. Everything. Of course, there's that flavor of white wine in there. You gotta like it. I mean, if you don't, I'm sure you could just add more chicken stock. There's a thought. Not for me, but maybe for someone else. So yeah, one of Julia's betters, at least in the soup category, I would say it's right at the top, near the top. I don't know. I can't compare all this stuff. Now in Provence, in France, you know, if you're gonna order a bouillabaisse, it's gonna be served with a rouille. A rouille.
Rouille.
A rouille. Garlic, pimiento, and chili pepper sauce. Last time I made bouillabaisse, I also forgot about it. So next time, you'll see. This was Jamie and Julia. Bon appetit. Au revoir.